And welcome back to Sports the NEMO Way, the coaches episode. Yes, I know what you're thinking. We've never talked about coaches before, but we decided to do it anyway. So we're going to talk about the 5 greatest coaches in NFL history. This should be a doozy. And a little housekeeping here. We are doing the first ever 3-man episode. There's only 3. You heard it right. There's only 3 of us here tonight. Myself, Ray, and Uncle Doug are all here tonight. Drew and Wade ditched us, the punks. But
it's like the original 3 members of Creed. Hold it down.
So we will if you hang in there with us, we'll do the best we can. I'm sure we'll have a good episode for you. So let's get started. Uncle Doug, who is your number 5 coach?
My number 5 coach is Paul Brown.
I do not have Paul Brown.
That's my number 4.
Oh, okay. Drew does not have Paul Brown on his list either.
I got to pull Wade's up. I'm sorry. What you got on Paul Brown real quick, Uncle Doug?
Well, he's got 3 NFL titles, no Super Bowls, but NFL titles, 213 wins, 1 Coach of the Year award, and a 67.2 win percentage.
Wade does not have Paul Brown either.
Okay.
So we got 2 there, is that right?
Yep. Yeah, just Ray and I.
And then I had a little side note. I said he won with the Browns. Figuring out how to win with the Browns deserves a spot on my list. So that's why I put him there.
Well, and you got a team named after you.
That's true, too, yeah.
He was born in 1908.
Yeah. He coached for like 25 years.
25 years.
Yeah, Cleveland and Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it says here at the top that total working for the organizations was 40 years.
Yeah. Say executive after that.
Mm-hmm.
I think he started off coaching with Cleveland and then went to Cincinnati, finished coaching, and then went into the front office. And so.
Ooh. In 1948, he had 14 and 14? 1,000% winning percentage. So
14-0, you mean?
Yeah, it looks like he got the 3 NFL championships, and then he got 4 AAFC championships.
Yeah.
Like 4 in a row. 46, 47, 48, and 49.
Well, technically he won 5 championships in a row. Just different. The last one's a different league.
Right, yeah.
So.
I mean, that's pretty impressive, too.
Yeah. So anyway, I thought he was worth mentioning. And like I said, when you got a club named after you, that helps.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's see.
Not a ton of stats to talk about. We said wins, championships, yeah.
With coaches, it's kind of, Super Bowls, wins, win percentage, coaches of the year. Obviously, I think pretty much most of the guys we'll be talking about will be Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
I would assume so. All right. Well, anything else to add on Paul Brown before we move on?
No, I think that's
about it.
Yeah.
All right. Ray, you got a 5 left?
I do.
Who's your 5?
Put old Joe Gibbs on there.
Oh, Joe Gibbs. I do not have Gibbs. Wade has him at 4, though.
Yeah, I don't have Joe either. Okay. And Drew does not have Joe.
All right, so 2 for Joe.
And he also owns a NASCAR team, too, I believe.
Yeah, he does. And it's been pretty successful at times as well.
Yeah, it's Joe Gibbs Racing, isn't it? Isn't that what it's called?
Yep.
All right, so Joe Gibbs, he got 3 titles, 3 Super Bowl titles, 2 Coaches of the Year. He's also a Hall of Famer, of course. And let's check at his win-loss percentage. He's 621, so he's always had average of winning season. But Joe Gibbs is one of the ones I remember. He was always on Washington. So, I mean, he kind of stood out to me.
Well, I mean, we actually got to see him coach, unlike the last guy.
Yeah, for real.
No undefeated season, though.
No, definitely not. That's for somebody else we'll probably talk about later.
I'm sure we will.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like old Joe Gibbs. I mean, he big part of that Washington franchise that we can't say the name anymore apparently. But
He was the coach of the Redskins.
yeah. But I mean, who within like that 80s time, 90s time frame really kind of poked out as a coach? I mean, we got one of the Shanahans. We had Joe Gibbs. Anybody else in the 80s that I'm forgetting?
Coaches?
Shula.
Well, Shula would have been there. Walsh would have been there.
Walsh.
Chuck Noll would have been there.
Chuck Noll. But kind of Joe Gibbs, I don't know. Joe Gibbs just kind of stood out to me. I just kind of threw him on there.
So in 1982, it says the Redskins went 8-1.
In which year?
1982.
82.
That would have been the strike year, probably.
It says 8-1, yeah.
So they were a strike shortened season that year?
Yeah.
Yep. 8-1 and won a title. That's a nice skip to Malou.
Fair enough. All right. Well, anybody else have anything to add on old Gibbs there?
Yeah. That's too much.
All right. Well, I have a 5 left, so I'll go ahead and talk about that real quick. My number 5 is Chuck Noll.
Okay.
I don't know if Wade has him or not.
No, I don't have him.
Drew doesn't have him.
No, Wade does not either. I guess I'm alone on this one.
Wow.
I don't know. The way I looked at it is the only way we judge coaches really is by winning, and he did a lot of that. He won 4 Super Bowls, a couple Coach of the Years.
Holy crap. Wow. 23 years in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Pittsburgh doesn't fire coaches.
Yeah.
They've had 3 coaches since 1969.
Right. Well,
3.
He's there for 23. Then Cowher was there,
And now Tomlin.
and Tomlin, yeah.
Yeah. He has a win percentage. He has a .566 win percentage. And like I said, 4 Super Bowls. He's also in the Hall of Fame. Like I said, a couple Coach of the Years. Again, another guy that I was alive, but I was little, so I don't really remember watching him coach. But he did make it into the 90s. Uncle Doug, I'm sure you remember Chuck Noll for sure.
Yeah. Chuck Noll.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I have much else. I mean, it looks like early on is when he had some struggle. It went 1-13 his first year in Pittsburgh.
There's a couple of rough ones, and then that goes up pretty high. And then you get up toward the mid to late 80s. He had a couple of other rough seasons in there.
And by 91, he went out with a blaze of glory with a 7-9 record.
Yep.
But you'll have that when you've been coaching for 23 years.
Indeed.
Yep.
Well, I mean, you think about that. He retired in 91. Cowher took over in 92, and they went to the Super Bowl in what, 94?
Yeah, it wasn't long.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Well, I think that's all I got on old Chuck Noll.
Okay.
He also played, didn't he? He was a player,
he
right?
played. Yeah.
yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, let's bring that up real fast. We'll talk about that. Chuck Noll. Not Chuck B. Yeah, he played linebacker, guard, and center.
Holy cow.
2-time NFL champ as a player, Hall of Famer as a player. Well, I don't know. Maybe.
Who did he play for?
Let's see here. Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Oh.
For 1, 2, 3.
So did he
4,
play
5,
for Paul Brown?
Probably would have.
Yeah.
Paul, what years did he play, Ray?
53 to 59.
Yeah, he played the whole time for Paul Brown.
Brown.
I'll be damned. Huh.
That's interesting.
Was drafted in the 20th round of the 53 NFL draft. The draft used to go way deep.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Holy crap. Good thing they don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's everybody's 5. Well, does Drew or Wade have a 5, I guess?
Drew still does.
So does Wade. So go ahead, Uncle Doug. Who's Drew got a 5?
Drew's number 5 is Bill Walsh.
Oh, he's Wade's number 3 and my number 2.
My number 3 as well.
Do you not have him, Uncle Doug?
No.
What? I thought he was a guaranteed unanimous guy.
No.
Oh, wait. All right. Well, Bill Walsh, obviously, longtime coach in the league. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's got 3 Super Bowls. He's got a Coach of the Year. He's got only 10 years. I didn't realize it was that short, actually. Yeah. Has a win percentage of 60.9, so almost 61%. And the way I looked at it was, obviously he does have 3 Super Bowls, but the other thing I looked at is like half the league is now a Walsh disciple and runs his offense.
Right, runs the West Coast offense.
He pretty much changed the way football is played. I feel like it's pretty. Andy Reid has been considered like the best offensive mind in football for a long time, and he's a Bill Walsh disciple. And Holmgren before that was a Bill Walsh guy. And like tons of other guys around the league that aren't as well known as those guys obviously run the West Coast. So that's why I was holding Bill Walsh in such high esteem, because not only did he win, but he really just kind of revolutionized the sport with his newfangled offense there.
I mean, not only that, I mean, you touched on about the length of his career coaching. I mean, the dude come in, well, I mean, not like a wrecking ball, but he coached 10 years and won 3 Super Bowls. I mean, what kind of coach can really say that besides a select few, really?
Uncle Doug, I'm going to ask a question for you. I don't know what changed in 1981, but he had a 2-14 season, a 6-10 season. Then he went 13-3, won the Super Bowl. They got really good really fast.
And then he shit the bed again next year.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, and then they went. Well, the next year would have been the strike year, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can't. That's hard to judge then.
Yeah, then they went back to being 10-6, and they went 15-1 and won the Super Bowl again.
Right.
And it was 10-6, 10-5, 13-2, then 10-6 and won the Super Bowl again. Then he retired.
I'll say I'm just wondering, probably personnel change in '81, maybe. Maybe finally got all the guys to run his offense.
Kind of like a buy-in situation.
Yeah.
When was Montana's rookie year?
I don't know.
79.
Yeah,
So he
would have come
so
in
the whole
with
time.
Walsh.
Yeah.
When did Jerry Rice come in?
I think it's 84, but I'll look. Yeah, Rice isn't on this first one.
Let's see. Jerry Rice. Yeah, I don't know. I can't.
It takes so long to scroll through all this crap.
Yeah, Rookie of the Year, Jerry Rice.
And what year?
85.
85.
The
There you go.
85 season. Yeah, whatever. And then.
So they won 2 Super Bowls before Jerry got there.
Let's see, 86. Oh.
So, Uncle Doug, who was their coach when Steve Young won?
Let's see. It was Walsh was replaced by. I can see the guy's face. Boy, I can't remember his name though.
What year did he retire again?
88.
88.
So, yeah.
89.
It should be at the top. Their coach should be.
Let's see.
Oh, that's not their person page.
Hold on.
That's what happened in the season.
89. George Seifert.
Yeah, Seifert.
So he won. Did Seifert win 2 then? One with Montana, one with Young?
I think he got, the last couple.
Got you. All right. Well, anyway. Well, we still haven't said Wade's number 5, so unless anybody else has anything to add on Walsh, we can move on to somebody else. Wade's number 5 is George Halas.
Yep. That is Drew's number 2 and my number 2.
I don't have him.
I don't either.
Well, what do you got on old George Halas, Uncle Doug?
Well, George won 5 NFL titles. He has 318 wins, which is second, maybe third all time now. Let me check.
Oh my God. 40 years coaching.
Oh yeah, he was there for a long time. Yeah,
For
I think
one
he's still
team.
second. Yeah. Well, I mean, he founded the Bears, owns the Bears, and his family still owns the Bears.
Holy shit.
His daughter, Virginia, is still the principal owner
Oh, okay.
of the Bears. I think she's like 90-something, but
Yeah.
he
She's
has
really
a
old.
68% win percentage over, like you say,
40
300 and
years.
some wins.
Yeah.
2 Coach of the Years. So, yeah, he had quite a bit of success there.
I'd say
I mean, to be able to have that kind of a win percentage, 68%, for that many years, I mean, clear up to 67.
He started in 1920.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy.
God, that was the years of the Great Depression, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They're pretty
Yeah,
close.
he would have coached through
Would've been in the
Depression.
20s, yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus, criminy.
So, yeah, I mean, that's Papa Bear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something else.
Devoted.
He's the coach of the All 20s team.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, he won a title in the 20s. He got a title in the 30s. 3 titles in the 40s.
In the 40s, yeah.
And
one in the
60s.
60s.
60s. I mean,
Oh, shit.
that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, for real. And to be devoted for 40 years, I mean, it's your team, but I mean, to be fucking with them players for 40 fucking years, like that takes some
that's
discipline
crazy.
to deal with them guys. Man, I couldn't imagine doing that.
So yeah, Drew had him at 2, and I had him at 2, and you said Wade had him at 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man.
All right. Well, then we finally made it through everybody's 5.
Yep.
So who all has a 4 left?
Drew does.
I do.
I do.
All right, go ahead, Uncle Doug. Who's your 4?
My 4 is Bill Belichick.
Ooh.
He's my 3.
Okay.
And Wade has in big bold letters on his piece of paper, "Fuck Belichick."
Okay.
So
Drew actually has Belichick at 1.
who's got him? 3 then?
Yeah.
Yeah, me, Drew, and Uncle Doug.
Yeah.
Yep, because I didn't put his fucking bum ass on my list. I agree with you, Wade. He ain't on my shit.
Yeah. Well, say not necessarily my favorite coach, but he 300 wins, almost 65% win percentage. Of course, 6 Super Bowls and 3 Coach of the Years. Now you kind of temper that with some
Cheating.
yeah. I was
Yes.
gonna say I was trying to think how to say that, but that works. Just cheating.
I mean, that's the reason I refused to put him at 1, because his resume says he's number 1. He has 6 Super Bowls.
Right.
He has 3 Coach of the Years. He has a 65% win percentage. Like, he's number 1 according to that stuff, but he's number 3 on my list because he's a cheater.
Right. So I'm with you. I have him down at 4 for that reason.
So who was his first quarterback then he coached? Testaverde?
Oh, I don't know who was that first year in Cleveland.
Oh,
We can look though.
yeah. Cleveland would have been. Ooh.
Bernie Kosar.
Kosar was there. Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay. I keep forgetting he went late.
Yeah, I mean, we
Ooh,
talk
Nick
about how
Saban
bad
is the
we talk
defense
about how
coordinator.
bad he was in Cleveland. Everybody's bad in Cleveland.
Yeah.
I mean, there is no success in Cleveland really, and it's not like he was, winning 1 or 2 games this season. He went 6-10, 7-9, 7-9. He had an 11-5 season, then 5-11. That was his last season in Cleveland.
Yeah.
By the way, obviously the New England sucks right now. And I refuse to believe they're trying to win football games right now.
No.
They're trying to get one of the quarterbacks.
Right.
But I just want to remind everybody that as fun as it is to hate on Belichick, no coach wins without a quarterback.
Right.
True.
It doesn't happen.
But
Like-
also, as a coach, you have to set your quarterback up for success, which he has not done in the last 3 years.
Well, he set what's his name? Their current
Jones.
Mac Jones up for failure last
he
year.
did. He
100%.
screwed that kid over.
Yeah.
Oh, Mac
Fucking-
Jones' career might be ruined, and it could be Belichick's fault because Mac Jones was very quality his rookie year,
He was.
and then last year they didn't even give him an offensive coordinator,
No.
and
What,
ran the most
Patricia?
inept, ridiculous offense in the league.
Yeah. It was an embarrassment.
Yeah, 100% was. I don't know what they were thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, his rookie season, Mac Jones threw for 3,800 yards and 22 touchdowns with 13 picks on 68% completion.
Yeah.
That is a very nice rookie season
It is.
Yeah.
with no weapons. It's not like he was out there
Right.
throwing to Gronk and Wes Welker and Randy Moss. He's out there throwing a bunch of nobodies.
Yep.
And before that, who in their right mind would have brought Cam Newton in to play in any kind of system Bill Belichick wanted? Like, that is not for Cam Newton. And I don't know what Belichick was smoking that year.
Well, I think he just needed a quarterback, and they did change their offense for Cam Newton. I mean, it was a run-first offense for Cam, but Cam's shoulder, he never recovered from that shoulder injury. He can't throw a ball.
Right. Yeah. That was.
Like RG3 tweeted out the other day, like, it's a shame or a sham that he named some quarterbacks are playing football games right now and Cam Newton's not. And somebody responded to him, well, except Cam Newton can't throw a football.
Right.
Like we were watching him like go to throw a ball 20 yards down the field and spiking it 5 yards in front of him. Like the dude's shoulder's broken. Like it doesn't work right.
Yeah. It's just got trashed.
Yeah. So Ray, can you pull up the list real quick? We can see how many
Oh,
votes
yeah.
we got on all these guys. I didn't
There you
think nobody's unanimous.
No.
We're gonna have a shitload of coaches.
Yeah, we are.
1, 2, 3. We're at 6 right now, listening audience.
Yeah, we're still naming our number 4s.
Yeah. Well,
Who has a 4 left?
I do not.
Drew does.
I do as well.
Yeah.
I'll go, I guess. My number 4 is Don Shula.
That's also Drew's number 4.
That's my number 2.
Good timing. Shula's my number 3.
So that's
Does
4.
Wade
So
have him?
And Wade has him at 2.
okay,
Oh,
so 5. There we
There's
go.
our unanimous.
There we go. We're back on track here.
I thought Shula would be unanimous. I just didn't think he'd be our only unanimous.
Yeah. No
Right.
kidding.
Obviously Don Shula, Hall of Famer, two-time Super Bowl champ, 4-time Coach of the Year, which is very obviously impressive. Coached for 33 years.
My Lord.
Yes.
Started
yes.
in old Baltimore Colt.
He has 328 wins, on a 67% win percentage.
Yeah.
He also has an undefeated season that nobody will let us forget. 1972, 14-0, and Super Bowl champ.
And if we would have just left Peyton Manning in that one last game, we could have maybe tied that. Thanks a lot, Coach.
By the way,
Anyway.
I also want to point out, I said he's a 2-time Super Bowl champ, which is true, but he also won an NFL championship before there was a Super Bowl.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
2 Super Bowls and 1 NFL.
yeah. Also, like I said, 33 years. That's a long. I mean, we talked about a guy with 40 earlier, so it doesn't seem as impressive, but 33 years is a long time.
Yeah. And he's still the all-time win leader, 328.
I mean, he probably won't be by next season, but he is now.
Right.
Yeah. Because Belichick's like 3 short or something like that?
The last number I saw for Belichick was just a little over 300. So yeah, it's getting close.
Yeah.
He'll catch Hallis first, and then Shula.
Gotcha.
And is Shula still living, or has he passed away? Does anybody know?
That's a good question. Died in 2020
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking he'd passed away, but
at 90 years old.
wow.
Yeah. Nice long life.
Yeah.
And did he play
Doesn't have him. Oh, yeah. It says he played DB.
DB?
Yeah.
Okay. So the man knows his shit. In the trenches and with the headset.
Oh. All right. Well, anybody else have anything to add on Don Shula before we move on?
I'm just glad we got a unanimous one finally.
Absolutely. All right. That's everybody's number 4, correct?
Yep.
Nobody has a 4 or 5 left.
Nope.
Nope.
All right. My number 3 is gone, and so is Wade's. Does anybody have a 3?
Nope.
Drew does.
Who's Drew's 3?
Drew's 3 is Vince Lombardi.
Ooh,
He's both Wade and I's 1.
that's my
He's
one.
also my one.
Okay, so we got another
Barty. So
unanimous.
is unanimous with 4 1s? Is that what I just heard?
I believe so.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
he's on
Drew had
mine.
him at 3.
Wow. What
All
did I do
right.
to put him? I'm gonna have to ask why you put him at 3.
Who did he have at 1? Was he? Have we said his 1 yet?
Belichick.
Oh yeah,
He
you
had
said
Hallis
that.
at 2.
Oh.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, we've built Drew's whole list is up there now.
Oh wow, I didn't realize.
Oh, my whole list is up too,
Yeah. This.
Mine as well.
and
believe.
so is Wade's.
Yeah.
So Vince Lombardi, a 7-time champion, divided between Super Bowls and championships. He has a Coach of the Year. He obviously, he's only coached for 10 years. 10 years, 7 championships. Let that sink in a little bit. He had a 73% win percentage.
And that's just amazing.
Almost 74. He's 73.8.
Yeah.
Almost 74%. That's nuts, though. And almost all of it came in Green Bay. He did coach 1 year in Washington.
Yeah. What's up with that? I didn't
know he
remember
did that. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew he went 1 year. You notice there's a year gap there, too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't
68
notice
is
that.
missing. And I don't remember all the details, but yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened there. Because in 67, they were Super Bowl champs.
Yeah.
And then it looks like 68 he didn't coach. 69, he's in Washington for a year. I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah, that's kind of odd. Kicking him
He
out of
never had a
college.
losing record.
No.
He had 6 ties. That's a lot of ties.
This man won't go down.
He had 2 ties with Washington that year.
Yeah.
7-5-2.
Well, I mean, I'll just put it to everybody this way. It's called the Lombardi Trophy for a reason.
True.
And see, he passed away in 70.
Oh.
Ooh, I guess
His last year coaching was 69.
Right. So I'm guessing maybe there were some health problems there.
maybe
But yeah, I believe he passed away in 70.
maybe that's why he took the year off. Maybe.
Maybe.
Took a year off, came back for a year, realized he still couldn't do it, and then he
And he
passed
passed
away.
away.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is. Wow.
All right. Well,
I remember kind of a neat story about Lombardi. Of course, back when he coached, times were drastically different. The players and the coach, general manager, owner, somebody sat down and negotiated the contracts. Well, Lombardi liked to do that. And he was a pretty good negotiator from the stories that were told. He usually came out on top. And there was this one Packer that was not good at negotiating, and he knew that every year, every time he signed a contract, he wasn't getting the best deal. So he showed up at contract time, walked into Vince's office, brought a lawyer with him. And Vince says, "Okay, nice to meet you, whatever. I'll be right back." And he goes out of the room, comes back a couple minutes later, and says, "Well, thank you for your time." And they're all like, "What?" He says, "You've been traded." He said, I do this man to man. And he says, "Yeah, we just traded you. So you can go negotiate with them."
Yep. So we have 8 guys for 5 spots. Can you pull up the list, please,
Yeah,
Ray?
my bad. There you go.
So
We get these two
Lombardi and
in.
Schuler are in.
Lombardi and Schuler are in. So we have 2 in. So we have 6 guys for 3 spots.
Yeah.
So we're looking at Paul Brown, Joe Gibbs, Chuck Knoll, Bill Walsh, George Halas, and Bill Belichick to fill 3 spots. Oh,
So
boy.
who didn't have Walsh? You didn't have Walsh?
I didn't have one.
Okay.
Yeah, my main problem with Walsh was 3 Super Bowls is fantastic, and I thought about him hard, but 60.9 when everybody else I've got is 68, 67, 74, 68, and 65
True. Yeah.
was why I didn't go with Walsh. And we have guys that have short careers, and truthfully, somebody that we didn't even mention that actually has a higher winning percentage even than Lombardi.
John Madden.
John Madden.
Yeah, he has the highest win percentage ever.
Yeah, 75.9. Only coached 103 games, but he won 75% of them.
Well, I mean,
Almost 76.
what, like Lombardi only coached 100 and some games.
Right, he only coached 96.
Hmm.
And then, like, Bill Walsh only did 92. So, you know, it's tough. It's really impressive, though, when, and again, this is something that I thought about with Walsh, is 3 Super Bowls in that 92 games. Like Lombardi got 7 in his 96, whereas Madden only got 1. That's why I didn't put Madden in there. I had Walsh ahead of Madden, but I still didn't have him in my top 5.
Well, I'm by myself on Chuck Knoll, so I'm willing to come off Chuck Knoll. And I will come off Chuck Knoll and go to I guess I'll go to George Halas.
Okay.
So Knoll is no more.
And Halas is up to 4. Who doesn't have Halas now?
I don't.
Oh, it's right. Okay.
We can probably make quick work of that.
So who do you have that's up there, Ray?
I have Paul Brown.
Uh-huh.
I have Mr. Gibbs. And I have Mr. Walsh.
Gotcha. And Uncle Doug, which ones do you have?
I have Paul Brown, George Halas, and Belichick.
Gotcha. And I have Walsh, Halas, and Belichick. So who? Uncle Doug doesn't have Walsh, and Drew doesn't have Halas.
No, Drew has Halas.
Or Ray doesn't have Halas.
Right.
Sorry.
So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump off the Paul Brown boat. And I'm going to put it on Halas.
Which would put Halas in.
Right.
There you go. Drew's smiling. It's the last thing he told me. He says, "Dad, you got to get him in."
All right, so now we got 3.
All right, Ray. Or Uncle Doug.
Yeah.
I feel like we're at Walsh and Belichick here.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking that way. Well, let's see. Ray came off Paul Brown, so I'll come off Brown and go to Walsh.
All right. So that means Paul Brown is out and Walsh is in.
Yep.
So now we have a 3-2 split between Gibbs and Belichick. So since the other two are gone, let's not count them for the moment. Where do we sit with Belichick and Gibbs in this room?
I think it's you and I, Belichick, and Ray Gibbs.
Gotcha. Well, what are you thinking, Ray?
Not Belichick. Another Patriot.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. Oh my gosh. Well. Fuck.
Well, while you're thinking, Ray, Uncle Doug, what do you think? You think all these rumors are true? You think they're going to let Belichick go at the end of the year, the Patriots?
I don't know. It sure looks like maybe it's time. And in a way, I almost think maybe he thinks it's time. Because some of the decisions he's made are not... I don't know, maybe he and Kraft have had discussions behind the scene and it's all their master plan, but...
I mean, here's my thing. I can't see him retiring this close to the record.
Oh, I think he'll come back and coach someplace.
Yeah, I say it has to be some. I feel like he's going to come back someplace if he does get let go. But it's like it needs to be someplace where he feels like he can win some games. He's not just going to come back and like coach the Commanders or something.
And he's going to have an owner that will let him do what he wants.
That'll be the one thing. Is there going to be a team that's decent that's going to let him be GM and coach? Because that's really where he's screwed up the last handful of years is his GM, not his coach.
Yeah, he needs to give up the GM part.
Yeah. But a team with a really good quarterback just fired their head coach.
Yeah, I know. That's one of the rumors I've heard is that he might be headed for San Diego.
Have you heard any rumors?
Nice warm place to retire.
Yeah. Of course, I guess it's L.A. now, but...
Well, yeah, sorry.
Still warm place,
think it was San Diego.
Me too. So, Uncle Doug, have you heard any rumors about Staley to the Rams as defensive coordinator?
No, I haven't.
I know that was a wish of yours.
Well, I tell you, our defensive coordinator, he's done some good things, but you watch the Rams at the end of games, they're way too soft in the secondary.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
And you know, part of it may not be his fault. Our secondary needs some improving, and we actually have a first rounder this year. Maybe we'll address that. But I don't know. I'd like to see him be a little more aggressive in the secondary, and our defensive coordinator may be a head coach.
Oh, you think so?
I would bet that he'll be applying for some stuff, and I bet he gets some interviews.
Ray, you got any more thoughts over there?
Yeah, I do, and they're all no Belichick, but I'm not going to spend the rest of the night trying to bash Belichick because I don't care about him in the first place. So I'll just go ahead and go to Belichick.
All right, well, that leaves Wade. Oh.
Yeah. Sorry, Wade. I just don't know.
Yeah.
It just didn't work out.
Well, I mean, Wade's not here, so
yeah. And
I mean, that's what we've done. Yeah.
When it comes down to the wire, then the people that aren't here, their votes are the first ones we throw out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So since the three people in the room all went Belichick, I'd say he's in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think even, like I said, I feel the same way. He is a cheater, but his resume is just so ridiculous. I feel like it is the right choice to put him on the list.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 6 Super Bowls, 3 coaches of the year, and he's number 3 on the win list and moving up.
Yeah, he's still coaching. Yeah.
You know, and and he still has 65% win percentage.
Yeah, that's very true as well.
So, I mean, some very deserving guys out there. Like I said, we mentioned John Madden. Of course, Andy Reid with the Chiefs is looking pretty good. A couple Super Bowls, 250 wins, 64% win percentage. You look at guys like Bud Grant, had a Coach of the Year, played in 4 Super Bowls, didn't win any of them.
Yeah. Well, that narrows it down to our 5 guys. I'll go over them again for the listeners. Our 5 greatest coaches of all time are as follows: Bill Walsh, George Halas, Bill Belichick, Don Shula, and Vince Lombardi. Quite the list, gentlemen.
Yeah, I think it's a
Indeed.
pretty impressive list. And the thing with Walsh, I think what you said really makes a difference for him. His winning percentage isn't quite as high as some of the other guys, and a short career. But the effect that he's had on offenses to this day is amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
And just a note, Drew would be telling us if he was here, the list is his 5 coaches.
Oh, damn it.
He did it again.
So what does that bring him up to? Like,
All but one.
I think
All
he's
but
only missed one.
What was it? Defensive tackles?
Maybe, yeah. Something like that. He's hit
Wow.
5 every time, just about. He's a good persuader, I guess. He's talking us into his guys.
Yeah. And that will end this portion of the episode and lead us into What If? And I believe Uncle Doug has a What If for us.
Yeah, my what if, and this goes out to all those Bears fans out there. What changes if Gale Sayers doesn't have his knee injuries? I mean, we all saw, well, I didn't say all, but in videos and things you've seen, what a phenomenal player Gale was prior to the ACL. And then, I mean, it ended his career. So what if he's able to avoid that? Or if they can do the modern surgeries and he can come back in a year and be his old self like Peterson.
Yeah.
I mean, he came back in like a year and was great.
now this is Mark's guy, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Mark, shout out to you. Wish you were here to talk about it with us.
Yeah. So I feel like this is a complicated one because obviously if we had today's medicine, this just wouldn't have happened to Gale Sayers. Like he obviously probably could have torn his ACL, but they would have performed the surgery. He would have come back and been the same guy he was before the surgery. We see it every year in the NFL. Adrian Peterson, 8 months after ACL tear, ran for 2,000 yards.
Yeah.
So definitely it is possible for you to come back from that with today's medicine. Obviously that didn't happen for Gale Sayers, sadly enough. But he did have a flash there of brilliance. Yes. So 68, correct, was when he tore up his knee?
Let's see. 9-9. He started 9 games in 68.
Yeah, 68 in the 9th game is when he tore up his knee originally.
Okay.
He came back and had a great season, did it again.
Okay.
And so then that's 70, which is after Brian Piccolo is no longer playing.
Okay.
Right.
Brian Piccolo died in June of 70.
Yeah.
So that would have been the summer before the 70 season. So he would have been going into the 70 season without Brian Piccolo, with Piccolo just of dying and him coming off a second, or him having a second ACL tear.
Right.
That would have just been devastating.
Yeah. Well, it definitely was back then.
Right. And then pretty much his career is over at that point.
Yeah.
But if he's not injured, we assume we all assume, I guess I'll ask you guys. We assume that he continues to be a really great running back.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only 5-6 years into his career. And,
And he had two phenomenal. 1,231 yards 1 year, and then 1,032 2 years later. I mean, he was on pace to be top fucking notch.
And he's not like he's out there getting a ton of carries and killing himself with carries. I mean, the biggest season he had was 236. I mean, we have guys with well over 100 more than that, even in today's NFL, when we don't carry the ball that much.
Right. And he had some pretty good receiving numbers too. I mean, he could catch the ball. Obviously was a phenomenal punt and kick returner. Now as the years go on, he probably would have backed off of that some, but I could very easily see him playing quite a few more years at running back.
Yeah.
Look at that 65 his rookie year. He had 29 receptions, 507 yards.
Yeah, 17.5 yards per catch.
Sick. That's nasty for anybody catching a ball at
Yeah.
any time and
Right.
in any era.
And he also averaged over 5 yards a carry that year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in 1968, the year he originally hurt his knee, he averaged 6.2 yards a carry. So let's get into this. So Gale Sayers is still a really good running back. So that leads us to Walter Payton, who comes into the league in 1975 as a rookie.
Right.
So the question becomes, do the Bears even draft Walter Payton in the 1975 draft because they have Gale Sayers?
Right. So, I mean, Walter Payton was the number 4 draft pick.
Yes.
So it's a really high pick. You think in 4 more years, Sayers is probably around 30. Be close to 10 years in the league at this point?
Well, let's look at the records here real fast.
He'd have been about 32.
Okay.
So let's see. 72, the Bears were 4-9 with one tie. 73, they were 3-11. 74, they were 4-10. And then what was his rookie year? I guess was 75. You said
Yeah.
That's when he was drafted.
4-10. So I mean,
But if you've got Gale Sayers, those records are going to go up.
You may not even have the opportunity to draft him.
Right.
that's true.
You may not. And like I said, they may probably not quite ready to replace him at that point. So then you're looking at Peyton. The next team that drafted a running back was the Houston Oilers at 15. They took Don Hardiman, not somebody that I remember, out of Texas A&M Kingsville.
Well, they only rushed for 1,400 yards.
Yeah.
So are we going to say that Walter Payton ends up being in Houston?
There's a good possibility there.
I mean, Houston picked at 6 as well. Like, they may have taken him there.
Right. And Robert Brazil is a Hall of Fame linebacker at that spot. You know how the Bears love linebackers.
That's true.
Maybe the Bears take Brazil at 4, and Houston takes Peyton at 6, and then somebody else later, they can take a linebacker or something later on. So now Walter Payton's a Houston Oiler.
Yes, which brings us into Earl Campbell
Right. And now Earl came in.
in 78.
Okay.
So only 3 years after Peyton, so I don't think they would have wanted to draft another great running back.
No.
But Earl Campbell went number 1 overall.
Yeah.
So you're looking at first off, you're looking at Houston maybe taking somebody like James Lofton, the Hall of Fame receiver, or Ozzie Newsome, the Hall of Fame tight end.
Right.
You know, to go to
Wes
Houston.
Chandler was up there. Art Still, defensive end for the Chiefs, went 2.
Clay Matthews went 12.
Russ Browner went 8. He was out of USC, went to Cincinnati, had a good career there. They had, so Houston's taking somebody else. The first running back was Terry Miller to Buffalo at 5. I do not, again, remember Terry Miller at Oklahoma State.
Yeah, but where is OJ?
Right. When did OJ retire?
Well, this Terry Miller kid only played 4 years in the league.
OJ retired in 79. Looks like. And this is this is 78 draft.
So they were probably trying to replace him.
They were probably trying to replace him. So that would have been the perfect spot for Earl Campbell.
Yes.
And a power back in the snow in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been a good fit.
We're 6 years from Jim Kelly, right?
Yeah, they're coming in.
What year did Kelly get drafted?
Well, but didn't Kelly go to the USFL?
He did, yeah.
When did they draft Thurman Thomas? That would be their next great running back.
Ray, you want to look up? Oh, you got Jim Kelly. I'll look up Thurman Thomas.
Okay.
What draft was he in?
Yeah, Jim Kelly was 86.
Oh, 86. Thurman Thomas was 88.
Okay.
So we're a full decade away from Thurman Thomas.
Right. So that kind of breaks our draft streak there.
Because Campbell's career is shorter.
Right, because he took a beating.
Because he ran so like an animal possessed.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he was unbelievable.
Well, 85 is his last year in the league, but he's not in Houston anymore. 83 is his last year in Houston.
Okay. So in what year did you say Jim Kelly came in?
86.
He came in 86. So that would have been, he would have been going out about the time Kelly, Thurman Thomas, and when they started the rebuild anyway. So that probably would have proceeded according to that. So it's just
But what did Buffalo have when he would have been there?
Right. In 78 up through about 86.
1978 Bills roster.
Let's see.
All right, we have Joe Ferguson as their quarterback.
Well, in 79, Buffalo had the number 1 pick again. They took Tom Cousineau, linebacker.
And they went 5-11 in 78, 7-9 in 79, 11-5 in 80. What did they have going there?
Let's see. 80.
I don't know any of these guys.
Let's see. The 80 draft, Buffalo was clear down at 16. They took a guard. So it sounds like maybe they had improved and were picking later. And
they went 10-6 in 81.
So you had Earl Campbell to that? Because I'm not seeing where they drafted a running back.
Some guy named Joe Cribbs is their running back these 2 years, but I don't know who that is.
I remember Joe Cribbs. I remember him playing for the Chiefs, though, I thought. Did he go to the Chiefs later?
No, he played for Buffalo, San Francisco, Indianapolis, and Miami.
Oh. Well.
He ran for a total of 5,300 yards.
Well, then in 81, Buffalo doesn't draft till 28, and they do take a running back at this point. Booker Moore out of Penn State.
In 82, they went 4-5.
Oh, the strike year.
Yeah, but I mean, they fell off. I mean, but yeah, it is a strike year. And then in 83, they go 8-8.
Yeah, 82. They're taking a wide receiver. Again, I'm not really sure. They didn't have some great drafts in there.
In 84, they went 2-11.
Which is, then 83, they drafted Tony Hunter at tight end. They're slowly creeping back to the top of the draft.
They went 2-14 back-to-back years.
Ouch.
84 and 85. Vince Ferragamo is their quarterback at this point.
Oh, they brought him in from the Rams. Because Hatsu took the Rams to the 79 Super Bowl against the Steelers.
Well, you want to hear what he did this year?
Yeah, let's hear.
He threw for 1,600 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 17 picks.
Yeah. Well, Vince did good for the Rams, but...
And Andre Reed is there by this point.
Okay. In 84... They're trying to draft another running back, Greg Bell out of Notre Dame.
By the way, this is the season I'm talking about. What is this? 85 is Andre Reed and Bruce Smith's rookie year. They drafted in the same draft.
Let's look at the 85 draft here. Oh, yeah. Buffalo was back to number 1 in the draft, and they took Bruce Smith.
There you go.
That's the beginning of the rebuild. Also, Jerry Rice was taken by San Francisco at number 16.
And then the following year in 86, they take Jim Kelly. They have Jim Kelly as a rookie.
Yeah.
That's some good drafting right there.
That is. And then Thurman Thomas comes shortly thereafter, right?
2 years later, it should be. In 87, who's their rookies? Well, I don't know. There's 3 rookies, but I don't know any of them. And then 88 should be Thurman Thomas. It is, Thurman Thomas. So in 4 years, you took 4 Hall of Famers.
Yeah. And Andre Reed, by the way, was 4th-round pick.
Oh.
And Bruce Smith with 1. Andre Reed was 4. At 3, they took Frank Reich. They became backup quarterback, coach now. And then Mark Trenowitz, who's a guard out of Nebraska. Which back then Nebraska had some pretty good offensive line.
Nebraska was a powerhouse for a while.
Corn fed.
All right. Well, we went down a total rabbit hole there, but I could have had some huge repercussions across the league as far as, who went where. I guess the other option could have been the Bears could have drafted Walter Payton and traded Gale Sayers.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, he would have been like 9 years in the league at that point, and they may have said, "Hey, let's get younger."
And send Gale someplace else to finish up.
Yeah, and then got a nice pick or another player, another position that could have helped him. Maybe, a pick they could have used on a offensive lineman or a quarterback or something.
Well, safe to say, I think the Bears win quite a few more games in that interim period. And you move some of these running backs around. I could see, Houston would have been a totally different style. But they had a great running back. But I think it definitely could have helped Buffalo in that transition period between O.J. and when Jim Kelly and all those guys came in.
Yeah. But then you look at it this way. What if Walter Payton on 75 still goes number 4 to the Bears? They trade Gale Sayers to Houston, who needs a running back.
Right.
and he plays the next 3 years there, probably pretty much ended up his career, and they go ahead and draft Earl Campbell, and everything goes the way it goes now.
Right. Goes normal. Except Gale's just got a whole bunch more yards.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, there's a lot involved. It's kind of interesting how one domino falls, and then we're 2 or 3 teams down the road, and 10 years worth of drafts down the road.
Yeah.
All on an injury or doctors.
Right. Well, I think we've pretty much talked this one through for the most part. That was a very interesting one, Uncle Doug. So I think that'll wrap up our coaches episode. We appreciate you tuning in for this. And we'd appreciate you tuning in next week for our special teams episode. I know, special teams. But we're going to do kickers, punters, and returners all in the same episode. So we're not going to spend a bunch of episodes doing special teams, guys. We'll get it all wrapped up in one episode. So you don't
3 at each spot.
Yeah, 3 at each spot. Yes, instead of 5. So it'll be an interesting episode, I think. Return men were always dynamic. Talking about them is fun. Kickers, you either love them or hate them. And punters are pretty much punters. But anyway, thanks for tuning in to Sports the NEMO Way.